From ghost ships drifting silently without a crew to entire expeditions vanishing into thin air, the ocean hides some truly chilling secrets. This is 10 in 10, where today we're diving into the 10 most mysterious disappearances at sea. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's set sail into these unexplained maritime mysteries. Imagine a ship gliding silently through mist-covered waves, sails hanging limply, creaking gently with each swell. On November 7, 1872, the 282-ton brigantine set sail from New York Harbour on its way to Genoa, Italy. On board were the ship's captain, Benjamin S. Briggs, his wife, Sarah, and their 2-year-old daughter, Sophia, along with 8 crew members. Less than a month later, on December 5th, a passing British ship called Dei Gratia spotted the Mary Celeste drifting aimlessly in the Atlantic, with no sign of the captain, his or any of the crew. The ship was completely deserted but remarkably intact. Meals sat half-eaten, belongings lay untouched, and the cargo, barrels of alcohol, appeared undisturbed. Strangely, the ship's lifeboat was missing, but no signs of distress or struggle were found. Ever since, speculation has swirled around this baffling disappearance, with explanations ranging from pirate attacks and violent storms to paranormal phenomena. What do you think really happened aboard this ghostly ship? We now turn our attention to a disappearance of a far grander scale, that of the USS Cyclops, a colossal collier ship of the United States Navy. Vanishing in March 1918, this vessel, over 540 feet in length and carrying more than 300 souls and a heavy cargo of manganese ore, simply sailed into oblivion. Her last confirmed location was somewhere in the vicinity of Barbados, en route to Baltimore, a path that would take her through the waters infamously known as the Bermuda Triangle. The Cyclops was a relatively new ship, equipped with wireless communication technology, yet no SOS was ever received. The weather, while not perfectly calm, was not considered severe enough to pose a significant threat to such a large and robustly built vessel. This mysterious disappearance remains the largest single loss of life in US naval history, not involving combat. From sudden structural failure to secret wartime sabotage or even supernatural forces said to haunt the Triangle's treacherous waters, over a century later the fate of the USS Cyclops continues to defy explanation. In October 1955, the MV Joyita set out from Apia, Samoa, on a routine voyage to the Tokelau Islands, a journey expected to last just 48 hours. Aboard were 25 people, including crew, a doctor, a government official, and 2 children. When the ship failed to reach its destination, an extensive search was launched but yielded nothing for weeks. Finally, 5 weeks later, Joyita was discovered drifting more than 600 miles off course near Fiji. Eerily, the vessel was partially submerged and listing but still afloat, thanks to its cork-lined hull. Yet, all passengers and cargo had mysteriously vanished. Investigators found blood-stained bandages, a radio tuned ineffectively to a distress frequency, and clocks frozen at 10:25 p.m. Theories range from mutiny and piracy to sudden flooding or paranormal events, but the true fate of the MV Joyita remains hauntingly unsolved. Imagine a luxurious ocean liner confidently sailing into the horizon, blissfully unaware it's about to vanish into maritime legend. Dubbed the Titanic of the South, the SS Waratah vanished after leaving Durban, South Africa in July 1909 with 211 aboard. Sighted briefly by another vessel, she disappeared without a trace after encountering a severe storm. Despite extensive searches, her fate remains unknown. A 1999 discovery briefly raised hopes but proved to be another shipwreck entirely. To this day, maritime historians and explorers continue to search the depths for any clues to unravel this enduring mystery. Will the ocean ever reveal what truly happened to the SS Waratah? The MV Derbyshire, a massive British ore bulk oil carrier, vanished during Typhoon Orchid near Japan. The story is a stark reminder of the colossal forces that can be unleashed by nature upon the high seas, and how even the largest, most modern vessels can be vulnerable. In September 1980, while en route from Canada to Japan, laden with 157,000 tons of iron ore, the Derbyshire sailed into the path of the ferocious Typhoon Orchid, south of Japan. All 44 aboard were lost and no distress signal was sent. 14 years passed before the wreck was found deep underwater. Investigations showed flooding caused by storm-damaged ventilation pipes led to the ship's rapid sinking. The discovery brought some closure, but lingering questions remain. Could anything have been done to prevent the disaster? This tragedy reshaped maritime safety standards, yet the haunting mystery of the Derbyshire's final moments continues to captivate. We now fast forward to a more recent and equally unsettling maritime mystery from the coast of Australia, the case of the Cars II. In April 2007, this 33-foot catamaran was found drifting off the Great Barrier Reef, some 88 nautical miles from shore. Aboard, maritime authorities discovered a scene of eerie normalcy. Yet the three men who had set sail on her, owner Derek Batten and his friends, brothers Peter and James Tunstead, were nowhere to be found. The conditions found on board painted a perplexing picture. The sails were up, but one was shredded, suggesting it had been left to flap in strong winds. The engine was running, and a laptop computer was switched on. Food was laid out on the table and fishing lines were deployed, one with bait still attached. Personal belongings, including wallets and mobile phones, were undisturbed. Despite the official explanations suggesting accidental overboard incidents, many are unconvinced. Speculation includes rogue waves, piracy, or even supernatural events. With no survivors or distress signals, the Cars II leaves behind unsettling questions and a mystery that the ocean seems determined to keep hidden. In January 1921, the five-masted schooner Carroll A. Deering ran aground on North Carolina's Diamond Shoals, known ominously as the Graveyard of the Atlantic. The ship was found eerily intact, with sails set, a meal prepared in the galley, and even a six-toed cat wandering the deck. But her entire crew had vanished without a trace. Days earlier, the crew's unusual behavior had been noted by observers, yet no conclusive explanation emerged. The mystery of the Carroll A. Deering endures as one of maritime history's greatest enigmas. Our next case brings us to more recent times and to the southern hemisphere, with the perplexing discovery of the Jan Seng in March 2006. This unidentified vessel, later believed to be named Jan Seng, was spotted drifting in the Gulf of Carpentaria off the northern coast of Australia. When approached by Australian customs officials, the ship was found to be completely deserted, with no sign of its crew. The mystery deepened as investigators found no recent signs of human activity, no identifying registration papers, and no clear indication of its port of origin or its intended destination. Its name and identifying marks had been painted over, a deliberate act that immediately raised suspicions of illicit activity. The MV Lyubov Orlova presents a more contemporary and rather bizarre tale of a ship that became a true modern-day ghost ship. Built in Yugoslavia in 1976 for Arctic and Antarctic cruises, this ice-strengthened expedition vessel had a long and storied career carrying passengers to remote and icy destinations. However, her later years were plagued by financial troubles, leading to her abandonment in St. John's, Newfoundland, Canada in 2010 after her owners accrued significant debts and the crew were left unpaid. For over 2 years, the Lyubov Orlova sat impounded and deteriorating in the harbour. Finally, in January 2013, she was sold for scrap and was to be towed to the Dominican Republic. However, just one day into this final voyage, the tow line snapped in heavy weather. Despite several attempts to track her, the Lyubov Orlova ultimately vanished, leaving behind a haunting mystery and countless unanswered questions about her final fate. Our final voyage into the unexplained brings us to the deeply unsettling and highly debated story of the SS Orang Medan. The tale begins with a series of horrifying SOS messages picked up by multiple ships and listening posts. The Morse code transmissions reportedly spoke of the entire crew, including the captain, lying dead in the chart room and on the bridge, followed by the chilling words, "I die." Then an indecipherable final message, and then utter silence. Responding to the distress calls, a nearby American merchant ship, the Silver Star, allegedly located the Orang Medan. Upon boarding, they were met with a truly grotesque and terrifying sight. The entire crew was found dead, faces frozen in terror. They encountered a scene of horror with no clear explanation. Moments later, the ship mysteriously exploded and sank, eliminating any clues. Was this tragedy the result of chemical leaks, supernatural forces, or something else entirely? And so, our journey through 10 of the most mysterious disappearances at sea comes to a close. From the silent decks of the Mary Celeste to the terrifying final moments aboard the Orang Medan, these stories remind us of the ocean's vast power and its secrets. These accounts transcend simple tragedy. They are enduring enigmas that challenge our understanding and ignite our imagination. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more intriguing stories from the depths of the ocean. What do you think happened to these ships? Let us know in the comments below.